Hello the internet, welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefi and we're gonna be talking about Elegg. As you can see, we have this girl, beautiful girl right here, and Shift Up just released the kit. So we're gonna be talking about that for a second, in terms of what she's good at, what she's bad at, if you should pull or skip. But most likely I'm gonna be starting making these before you pull videos as well as the short review format, and then focus the channel mostly on normal gacha stuff, right? So that said, before we start, leave a like, subscribe. We're gonna be playing today on stream Last Epoch with Jake, doing a playthrough level 1 to Monolith in one go. It's gonna be pretty fun. We're gonna be playing Explosive Ballista. You have the thumbnail somewhere around here. Live starts in around 3-4 hours. Come say hello. Also, a small TLDR for her kit if you don't want to watch the whole video. So half of her kit is locked behind the burst boom install. The burst gadget is gone after one use, so like D for example, but better. Elegg has it better because she feels 100% instead of like 80 or 90%. Distributed damage only works for African American Scarlet, Dorothy, and 2B as far as I remember. If there's anyone else with distributed damage, let me know. A huge defense downs on burst, but not a lot of usage. We'll talk about that in a second. And damage to projectiles is too niche. So for most people, this is a skip unit. This is gonna be either waifu, which most of us as gambling addicts and waifu collectors, that's what we're pulling, or a skip. For most people, again, free to plays or limited resources, I will say you can skip. Now let's get into her kit directly. She's a supporter B2 electric machine gun, dealing 5.57% of attack as damage. That is, let me go here, the same as Guillotine, Emma, and Soda if I checked properly. So nothing out of the ordinary here. She's not going to be a good DPS, or at least it doesn't look like she's going to be a good DPS for a couple of reasons. So first of all, skill 1, Short Circuit, activates when entering battle, affecting all allies, continuously increasing damage to projectiles by almost 60%. This is nice. The issue is it's too niche. We have not a lot of bosses where we can make use of projectile damage, because a lot of the projectiles that actually require you to be shooting with a machine gun are like, for example, the newest boss, Crystal Chamber, where you have to do a number of hits regardless of, how much damage you're doing. It's just a number of hits. So in that regard, not a lot of usage for this first part of the skill, kind of niche. Second part, activates after landing 100 normal attacks, affects the target and 2 surrounding enemy units if the target is in boom installed, dealing 91% of final attack as distribute damage. It's final, this scales pretty well. Then skill number 2, activates after landing 60 normal attacks, affect all allies if the target is in boom install. So once again, you see that half of her kit needs boom install, which is the burst skill. So if she's not bursting, half of the kit useless, is not there anymore, because skill 1 is continuously, and the second part of skill 2 is activates when the target appears, affecting all allies, filling the burst gauge bar by 100%. This is better than D. Even at max level, I believe D is not 100%. It doesn't really matter, since, yes, 98.56%. It doesn't really matter, let's be honest. It has the same condition of when the target appears, but the difference is literally this is gone after one use. Outside of bosses, you will make no use of Elegg, because she needs to actually apply boom install to a target, so it has to be the boss, and she can miss this. And to explain that, let's go into her burst. The boom install, 20-second cooldown, which is good, even though B2 is way too competitive, affecting all allies, increasing distributed damage dealt by almost 40% for 10 seconds. This could be the only reason to use her. This could be literally the only reason to be pulling for her, depending how much damage she's going to be increasing on Scarlet, African American, and Alice in that team, with this girl and Alice in the same one, right? Because we already have teams for bunnies and for schoolgirls. So Scarlet is in that place where you will put her on a strong team depending on the solo rate, but we could move her into a newer team with Alice, with now Elegg, and another 2 units. Again, this depends on a lot of things, but that's the only thing we need to test, because the rest of our kit is really not worth it. Also, this will deal 80% of final attack as damage, which is nothing, and apply boom install, which is a defense down of 35% for 10 seconds. Now, boom install and defense down. First of all, defense down. Defense down is nice. The issue is on hard CP deficits, not gonna be as useful. For a burst 2, damage taken, Novel is undisputed the queen for bosses, right? So it's really hard to justify bringing her over Novel, over Bunnies, over anything you have on your team already. For newer players, if you get lucky, could be a good option for bosses, but if you're a new player, you're not doing bosses, you're not participating in raids right now, doesn't really matter. Now, important, affects the enemy nearest to the crosshair. We already talked about this with the newest character, right, which is made privately. There she is. We already talked about this. This doesn't really work. You have to be careful with this. Now, if you are doing bosses, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's always going to be going to the boss. But if you are doing this with multiple targets, it can miss because how the layering works in Unity 3D. If you want to learn more about that, on our website, we explain it on the Made Privacy review. Outside of that, honestly, since she's going to be used for bosses almost every single time, it doesn't really matter. That said, once again, I think this is a really a skip unit for most people. I think it's not really worth it. Half of her kit is locked behind boom install and landing a specific number of attacks. The modifiers of the attack don't look that appealing because this will only happen again on burst for 10 seconds. You cannot make use of this all the time. And then the distribute damage is like the only incognito. This could be huge, or this could be a flop. Again, we'll see. I haven't run any numbers. We'll be testing that tomorrow when the patch goes live. We're going to be playing the new event, the new campaign chapters, and doing everything else. Some viewer pools, as usual, we have multiple MLBs to get. So hopefully the viewer pools go as planned and we don't shaft anyone, even though we never shaft people. We always provide what they are looking for. That's it. Easy skip for most people. This is gonna be a character that you pull for waifu. The usage is too niche. Lately, we've been getting a lot of units that are just niche, that have just specific usages. I don't think this is bad, as long as they keep introducing new mechanics into the game and we can long term make use of this character, right? If not, we'll see what Shift Up has in store for us. But so far, skip this unit, wishlist, or pull for waifu 1 copy. I would not recommend MLB unless you are a whale. MLB being a non-limited character that's niche, unless it's like your biggest waifu or you're a whale, doesn't really make a lot of sense. That said, that's gonna be it for this one. We're gonna be live in 3-4 hours or something like that. Come and say hello, have a great time. Let me know what you think about Elegg, if you're pulling or not. Good luck with your pull generates, and see you on the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことです。